If you've landed here, it's not by chance. Deep down, you're exhausted, tired of battling for financial abundance, of trying everything you've been told, only to watch your results remain painfully out of reach. But that struggle ends now. Because the very moment you clicked on this video, you set something extraordinary in motion. You activated a quantum field, and that field has the power to rewrite everything you thought you knew about creating wealth. Think about it. For years, maybe even decades, you've tried everything. You visualized abundance. You repeated affirmations until your voice cracked. You wrote scripts, built vision boards, acted as if prosperity was already yours. You studied mindset, reprogrammed beliefs, practiced manifestation techniques. And yet, your bank account still refuses to reflect the abundance you know deep in your heart that you deserve. Instead, you felt the weight of stress, the sleepless nights worrying about bills, the frustration of working twice as hard only to see half the results. You've asked yourself, why does wealth seem to flow so easily to others while it slips away from me as if I'm cursed with some invisible block? But what if everything you've been taught about creating financial abundance isn't just incomplete? What if it's been working against you all along? What if the very effort you've been pouring into manifesting money has been pushing it further away? Right now, in this very moment, something deeper is happening. As your awareness absorbs these words, a subtle but powerful shift is taking place. A quantum selection process is activating, not through your conscious thoughts, but through the frequency your energy has been broadcasting all along. That feeling of exhaustion, that invisible wall you've been pushing against, that frustration of watching others attract opportunities while you struggle, it isn't proof of failure. It's a signal, a sign that your soul is ready to leap from effortful manifestation into effortless abundance, ready to discover the one key that separates those who remain trapped in financial struggle from those who step into the natural flow of infinite prosperity. Millions of people are out there searching for abundance formulas, money manifestation secrets, and wealth building strategies. But you didn't keep scrolling. You stopped here. You clicked on this specific message at this exact moment. That's not YouTube's algorithm deciding for you. That's quantum synchronicity. Your energy field recognized a resonance in these words, a deeper knowing rising within you that could no longer be ignored. Over the next few moments, I'm going to reveal the quantum key that changes everything. This isn't another trick to add to your manifestation toolkit. It's not a mindset exercise to practice when you're desperate. It is a fundamental shift in how you exist in relationship to abundance, a shift that makes wealth flow to you as naturally and effortlessly as water flows downhill. But before we go further, I need to tell you something that may shock you. The reason you've struggled to create lasting financial abundance is not because you've been doing something wrong. It's because you've been operating from a paradigm that makes abundance impossible. You've been trying to create wealth from a consciousness of lack. And that's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it will never stay full. The quantum key I'm about to share is not about working harder or even working smarter. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental frequency of abundance itself. It's about becoming the kind of person to whom money flows naturally, effortlessly, and inevitably. And when you understand this, when you embody it, you'll look back and wonder how you ever believed wealth had to be difficult. Let me validate something for you. You've already had glimpses of this quantum frequency of abundance, though you may not have recognized it. Think about those moments when money appeared just when you needed it most, not from logic, but from unexpected channels. A forgotten refund, a gift from someone who felt moved to give, an opportunity that seemed to materialize from nowhere. These were not coincidences. They were evidence that you already have a quantum connection to abundance, one that transcends linear cause and effect. And think about the times you've had a gut feeling about a financial decision, an investment, or an opportunity, when something inside you said yes or no before you could explain why. And later you realized your intuition had been right all along. Those moments were not luck. They were proof that your consciousness is already wired to receive guidance from the quantum field of prosperity. This happens because you are already connected to the infinite field of information that contains all financial possibilities. Think about it. You've experienced synchronicities with money before, haven't you? Times when you thought of a specific number and then saw that exact amount appear again and again throughout the day. Or when you met someone who, seemingly out of nowhere, offered exactly the solution you needed for your financial situation. Or when you found yourself in the right place at the right time for an opportunity that felt as if it had been designed specifically for you. And perhaps you've noticed how your financial reality mirrors your emotional state in uncanny ways. When you're living in gratitude, when you feel genuine joy, money flows effortlessly. But when stress and worry take over, expenses seem to multiply, income slows down, and everything feels heavier. That's not coincidence. It's evidence that you are operating from quantum consciousness, where your internal frequency directly shapes your external financial reality. You've likely experienced what I call abundance gaps, those periods when you felt fully aligned, confident, and abundant, and during that time, money flowed easily, almost without effort. But then, something triggered you back into fear or scarcity, and suddenly the flow stopped as quickly as it had begun. These experiences prove that you do have access to the frequency of abundance, but the key is learning how to sustain it consistently. Some of you have even had dreams or visions of financial freedom, moments that felt more real than waking life. Dreams of beautiful homes, thriving businesses, or living in total prosperity. These were not wishful fantasies. They were glimpses of quantum timelines where other versions of you already exist in abundance. This is why traditional financial advice, budgeting, saving, investing, has always felt incomplete to you. Because you sense there's something more. You feel intuitively that true prosperity is not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It is about consciousness itself. And maybe you've experienced this paradox, moments when you became so present, so aligned with your purpose, that your worries about money completely dissolved. And during those exact times, your financial situation improved on its own. Opportunities opened, resources flowed without any effort. That was your nervous system remembering what it feels like to operate from abundance consciousness instead of scarcity. You've also likely noticed how certain people affect your financial flow. Some individuals seem to amplify your prosperity, while others drain it simply by being around you. This is not random. It's frequency, it's resonance, and it's one of the clearest signals that your relationship with money has always been energetic first and material second. Have you noticed how being around certain people seems to open doors, attract opportunities, and make money flow with ease, while being around others feels like your financial energy contracts, as if possibilities are quietly slipping away? This isn't coincidence. This sensitivity you feel toward the energetic influence of others is proof that you are naturally attuned to the quantum field, the very field where abundance is created, circulated, and distributed. These experiences aren't random. They are evidence that you are already connected to the principles of quantum abundance. You are sensitive to the frequencies that create prosperity. The key is not whether you can access them. You already have. The key is whether you can learn to access and maintain them consciously instead of stumbling into them sporadically and accidentally. So let's completely reframe your financial journey. Every struggle, every setback, every moment of stress about money, none of it was a sign that you're bad with money or destined for scarcity. Every single moment was preparation for abundance mastery. And when you truly see this, it changes everything about how you create wealth from this point forward. Think about the process of metamorphosis. Before a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it undergoes a strange and extraordinary stage. Inside the cocoon, something called imaginal cells begin to appear. These are cells that carry the blueprint of the butterfly's future form. At first, the caterpillar's own immune system attacks them because to its current identity, they feel foreign, disruptive, dangerous. But eventually, the imaginal cells become stronger. They multiply, they dominate, and they guide the caterpillar's complete transformation into something entirely new. Your financial struggles have been the same. They have been your old economic immune system, your old programming, attacking the new consciousness of abundance that has been trying to emerge through you. Every experience of lack, every financial disappointment, every business that didn't work out, every job that paid too little, none of these were failures. They were pressure tests. They were lessons. They were showing you one truth. Abundance cannot be created from scarcity consciousness. Every late night worry about bills, every wave of anxiety about not having enough, every moment you felt crushed under financial pressure, none of it was punishment. It wasn't proof of unworthiness. It was your soul applying the exact amount of pressure needed to crack open your old paradigm, to push you into discovering a completely different relationship with money. The truth is, you've never been failing. You've been transforming. Like carbon transforming into diamond under intense pressure, your financial struggles have been forging the exact internal conditions required for quantum abundance mastery. Every time you felt the painful gap between where you were financially and where you longed to be, that gap was generating energetic tension. And when properly understood, energetic tension is not your enemy. It becomes the driving force for quantum leaps.
The dissatisfaction you've carried wasn't a flaw to fix. It was energy building, pressure accumulating, preparing you for a massive transformation. Those times when you had to rely on faith instead of bank account balances, when you had to trust that somehow money would appear, when you were forced to release your grip on controlling outcomes, those moments weren't punishment. They were training. They were conditioning you to shift from three-dimensional thinking about money into the expanded awareness of conscious consciousness. Think of the times you stood at a crossroads, the choice between financial safety and your authentic path. The moments when fear of money lack tried to talk you out of pursuing your calling. The decisions you made from trust rather than from security. These weren't obstacles to abundance. They were declarations to the universe, proof that you are ready to operate from abundance consciousness regardless of circumstances. Now that preparation phase is complete. The dissolution of your old relationship with money has already taken place. And what is emerging now is a version of you who understands. Money is not something you must chase or earn through endless struggle. Money is energy, a current that flows naturally when you are aligned with your authentic frequency. Every sleepless night, every anxious calculation, every season when prosperity seemed out of reach, all of it was refining you, calibrating you, preparing you to receive the quantum key to effortless wealth. Now, from lived experience, you understand a truth most never grasp. Effort-based approaches to money only create more effort. You are ready for the leap into effortless abundance. The financial pressure you've endured has recalibrated your nervous system to handle larger flows of money. The uncertainty you've navigated has trained you to live from faith and trust instead of desperation and need. You have been prepared, not to clutch at abundance, but to become the vessel through which it flows continuously. And something is shifting inside you right now. As these words move through your awareness, as these truths resonate in the deepest layers of your being, a dormant abundance frequency within you is awakening. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle but undeniable sensation that your relationship with money is transforming at its core. Your nervous system is recalibrating in real time. Circuits that have long been dormant are coming online. Pathways that scarcity once blocked are clearing. The flow is opening. Then I discovered the quantum key, and everything changed. Instantly. Not over months or years, immediately. Within days, opportunities I hadn't even pursued began to appear. Within weeks, my income doubled, without working longer hours, without forcing or hustling. Within months, my relationship with money was unrecognizable. It no longer felt like a battle. It felt natural, effortless, like breathing. But the most important shift wasn't the increase in income. It was the complete disappearance of financial stress. Money flowed with such ease that I stopped thinking of it as something I had to chase or attract. I finally realized the truth. For years, I had been unconsciously working against my own abundance frequency. That realization changed everything. I came to understand that abundance is never created through effort. Abundance is allowed through alignment. And alignment begins the moment you embody the one quantum key that unlocks it all. Just a few years ago, I was caught in what I now call the abundance paradox. I was making good money, 6 figures a year, but it felt like I was constantly swimming upstream. Every dollar required massive effort to earn and disappeared just as quickly as it arrived. On paper, I was successful, but in reality, I was exhausted. The financial flow I worked so hard to generate never seemed to stick. I had studied everything, every abundance teaching, every book, every seminar, every technique. I knew all about limiting beliefs, raising vibrations, manifestation practices. I practiced gratitude, I visualized wealth, I filled journals with scripted futures, I covered walls with vision boards. I understood money intellectually, but externally it remained stubborn, slippery, and effortful. Income would rise temporarily, only to plateau or even decline, forcing me back into endless hustle mood. The breaking point came during one of the most difficult financial periods of my life. Despite working harder and longer than ever before, my income was falling. Unexpected expenses showed up faster than I could cover them. I felt like I was running on a financial treadmill, constant motion, no progress. I was spiritually drained from trying to think positively while my bank account reflected the opposite. Until one evening, sitting alone in my office, staring at bills I couldn't comfortably pay, I reached a moment of complete surrender. Not the kind of surrender that comes from defeat. The kind that comes when you finally stop fighting forces you cannot control. The kind of surrender that feels like falling backward into trust. And that's when everything shifted. I stopped trying to fix my financial situation. I stopped forcing myself to manifest more money. I simply surrendered, sitting in the stillness of not knowing what to do next. And in that silence, something extraordinary happened. Instead of obsessing over how to solve my money problems, I began to see abundance from a completely different perspective. I realized I had been treating money as if it were something separate from me, something I had to chase, capture, and cling to. At the core of my efforts was a hidden belief that abundance was scarce, fragile, and required endless work to maintain. And then came the recognition that changed everything. I had been trying to create abundance from a consciousness of lack. Every technique I practiced, every strategy I attempted, every ounce of effort I poured in was rooted in the assumption that I didn't have enough and needed to get more. I was literally broadcasting scarcity into the quantum field, even while asking for abundance. The moment I saw this, something inside me shifted. It was as if a switch had been flipped at the deepest levels of my being. I experienced what can only be described as a quantum identity shift. I stopped being someone desperately trying to become abundant, and I started being someone who already was abundant. This wasn't forced positive thinking. It wasn't another visualization. It was a transformation at the core of who I believed myself to be. And the change was immediate. Within hours, I received an unexpected payment I had completely forgotten about. Within days, new opportunities arrived without any effort on my part. Within weeks, money began flowing in from sources I never could have planned for. But the greatest change wasn't external. It was internal. For the first time, money no longer felt effortful. I stopped worrying, I stopped calculating, I stopped striving. Abundance became as natural as breathing. That was when I understood the quantum key. Abundance isn't something you create.
It isn't something you force. It isn't even something you attract. Abundance is what you are when you stop trying to become it. The secret isn't in learning how to pull money towards you. The secret is remembering how to be the kind of consciousness through which money naturally flows. Since that moment, my relationship with wealth has been effortless. I no longer think about creating abundance because I am abundance, expressing itself as financial flow. I don't worry about money because I finally understand that money is simply energy looking for the path of least resistance. And when you become that path, the flow is inevitable. If this story resonates with you, if some part of your being recognizes this truth, then you are ready to receive the quantum key, the shift that transforms everything. Subscribe to this frequency, because what comes next will revolutionize your entire relationship with money and prosperity. And here's what almost every abundance teacher fails to tell you. The reason you haven't been able to create effortless financial flow isn't because you're blocked. The reason you've struggled isn't because you lack abundance. It's because you've been trying to become abundant, forgetting that you already are abundance, temporarily disguised as a human being. The difference between effortful and effortless abundance comes down to one simple but profound distinction. Are you trying to get abundance, or are you being abundance? This isn't wordplay. It's the quantum distinction between operating from lack consciousness and operating from abundance consciousness. When you try to get abundance, you automatically position yourself as someone who doesn't have it. Every manifestation technique, every affirmation, every visualization reinforces the hidden belief that abundance exists out there and you need to pull it in here. That state of striving broadcasts lack into the quantum field, repelling the very prosperity you're seeking. But when you are abundance, the game changes. You operate from the recognition that abundance is your natural state of being. You're not chasing something new, you're simply allowing what has always been true to express itself through your human experience. In that state, money flows to you effortlessly because your frequency is the very resonance of wealth itself. Here's the shocking truth. Every naturally wealthy person on this planet operates from this principle, whether they can articulate it or not. They don't think about creating wealth, they think from wealth. They don't chase opportunities, they are the type of person to whom opportunities naturally flow. This is why positive thinking and manifestation exercises may work temporarily, but rarely produce lasting transformation. They tinker with surface thoughts while leaving the deeper identity structure untouched. You can repeat abundant affirmations all day, but if your core identity is still someone trying to become abundant, you will keep manifesting experiences that confirm that identity. The true quantum key to effortless abundance is identity shift. Not changing what you think about money, but changing who you are in relationship to money. When your identity shifts from someone striving to become abundant into abundance itself expressing through human form, everything changes instantly. And this isn't about convincing yourself of something false. It's not about pretending to be abundant when you're not. It's about remembering the deeper truth. Abundance is the fundamental nature of consciousness. Scarcity is the illusion. Abundance is the reality. You are consciousness. Infinite, expansive, limitless, temporarily focused through this human experience. The consciousness that creates effortless abundance already exists within you. It doesn't need to be earned. It doesn't need to be developed. It doesn't require worthiness. It only requires one thing, that you stop burying it beneath layers of effort, struggle, and the endless attempt to become. Because every moment you spend trying to create abundance, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who doesn't have it. And the moment you release that, the flow begins. Every technique you've ever used to attract money has been quietly reinforcing the same subconscious message, that money exists outside of you and you have to reach for it. This is why so many people can manifest temporary increases in income but struggle to maintain lasting prosperity. They are still applying abundance practices while rooted in scarcity consciousness. The real quantum leap into effortless abundance doesn't come from learning how to become abundant. It comes from unlearning how to be scarce. It's not about adding more manifestation techniques or wealth strategies into your life. It's about dissolving the identity structures that make abundance feel like hard work in the first place. And here's why this matters now more than ever. The quantum field of money and abundance is shifting dramatically in this moment of human history. And there are unmistakable signs showing whether you're aligned with this shift or still operating from outdated paradigms that will only become less effective in the years to come. The first sign is what I call effort fatigue. You've noticed it. Traditional approaches to wealth, like working harder, saving more, or following conventional financial advice, feel increasingly empty and unsatisfying. They no longer work the way they once did. That's not failure. That's your soul rejecting the old paradigm. You're being prepared to operate from quantum principles, where wealth flows through alignment, not through relentless action. Notice what happens when you try to force financial outcomes. Sales become harder, clients resist, unexpected expenses suddenly appear. This isn't bad luck. It's the universe teaching you that force creates resistance, while flow creates expansion. The second sign is a transformation in your relationship with time and money. You're becoming less willing to trade your life force for income that drains your spirit. Work, clients, or opportunities that once seemed acceptable are now intolerable, even if they pay well. Why? Because your consciousness is preparing you to create prosperity through authentic expression rather than through sacrifice. You may feel drawn toward income streams that resonate with your natural gifts and talents, or you may notice an inner resistance to work that feels meaningless, no matter the financial reward. This isn't laziness. This is your abundance frequency recalibrating, guiding you toward opportunities that support both your prosperity and your spiritual evolution. The third sign is spontaneous insight. You've started receiving downloads about money and wealth creation that don't come from books, courses, or financial education. These complete understandings about prosperity appear during quiet moments, dreams, or even everyday tasks. They may contradict conventional wisdom, yet they feel absolutely true in your soul. You may suddenly sense why certain investment strategies won't work for you, or receive an entire business idea fully formed, one that feels both innovative and inevitable. These aren't random thoughts. They are transmissions from the quantum information field where all knowledge of abundance resides. Trust them. They are the language of the field itself, guiding you toward your next leap. These insights, these flashes of clarity, they aren't random. They are transmissions from your direct connection to universal abundance intelligence. The fourth sign of your alignment is unmistakable. Synchronicities around money are accelerating. You think of a number and see it everywhere. You meet someone who offers the exact solution you've been searching for. Opportunities appear through channels you never would have planned. These synchronicities are proof that your energy field is becoming coherent with the frequencies of abundance. The quantum field is responding to your internal alignment by arranging external circumstances in your favor. And the more you acknowledge these synchronicities, the more powerful and more frequent they become. Here's the most important recognition. The age of effortful abundance is ending. We are entering a new era where wealth is created primarily through frequency alignment, not through sheer effort or clever strategies. Those who learn to operate from quantum abundance consciousness will thrive. Those who cling to struggle-based methods will find prosperity increasingly difficult to sustain. The cosmic conditions supporting this transformation are unlike anything humanity has experienced before. Solar activity is raising the frequency of our planet. Waves of awakening are reminding millions of their quantum nature. Old systems built on scarcity and competition are collapsing, making room for new systems built on coherence, creativity, and collaboration. You can feel it, can't you? Not a fear-driven urgency, but a deeper knowing. Now is the time. The urgency you feel is real because the window for easily embodying quantum abundance is open wider right now than ever before in human history.
These frequencies are making upgrades available that once required lifetimes of effort. But this window will not remain open forever. Those who embrace the shift now will be empowered to move ahead with extraordinary momentum. Your financial future will be determined by this choice. Will you continue trying to grind, hustle, and force abundance into being? Or will you step into alignment and allow prosperity to flow naturally as it was always meant to? Because here's the truth. The money you desire already desires you. It doesn't want you to earn it as a reward for good behavior or as payment for spiritual practice. It doesn't flow as a prize for hard work. Money wants to flow to you because you are the natural channel through which abundance expresses itself in physical reality. And when you remember this truth, financial flow becomes as effortless as breathing. The difference between magnetic attraction and natural alignment is the quantum key. In attraction, you are trying to pull money towards you from a place of separation, believing you are here and money is over there. But in alignment, you stop trying to pull anything. You simply live so authentically, so fully as yourself, that money flows to you automatically as water flows downhill. Think of the genuinely abundant people you know, not celebrities, not distant figures, but real people in your life. Notice how they rarely speak about money, rarely chase it, rarely force it. Their focus is on expressing their gifts, creating value, serving others, living authentically. And money finds them because they've become the kind of person money naturally gravitates toward. This is the secret. Most wealthy people don't even realize they're living it. They're not attracting abundance, they're embodying it. And abundance simply follows. And now it's your turn. If these words resonate deep within you, it's because you are ready. This is your activation moment. Subscribe to this frequency, not just this channel, but to the truth of who you are. Share this message with those you know are awakening, because together we are anchoring the new paradigm of effortless abundance. The quantum leap is waiting. The universe is ready. The only question is, will you allow yourself to be the flow?